Oh, hello, Matan.
Didn't see you
I
there.
tried. Hello, good sir. It's great to see you. Great to talk to you.
Pleasure to see you.
It has been way too long. The last time we hung out was just like playing video games, Call of Duty, like Warzone, right? Warzone.
Yeah. It's
So
been
it is.
a couple of years, eh?
Yeah, I know, right? Oh man, yes, it has been way too long. So it is great to see you again, talk to you, chat with you. And today I finally hold you hostage on a podcast because, that's what friends do. So for those who don't know you, if you could please introduce yourself, just tell us a little
Yeah,
bit, tell us a little bit about yourself, man. So,
sure. I'm Matan Kushner. I am currently a tech lead at Vercel. I am the open source maintainer of Starship. I was a developer on AniList. I do a number of things on the web. Um, yeah, I'm based out of Tokyo, Japan. uh, Building software during the day and trying to squeeze in some bouldering sessions at night. Uh,
I
yeah,
love it. I love it. I love it. I'm sure like the people at your bouldering gym, just they know you like first, middle, and last name. Okay. I'm sure. I'm sure. So
yeah. At this point, for sure. Yeah.
So yeah, man. So as I said, yeah, you talked about AnyList, you talked about like Vercel and whatnot. Like what has been like, first off, just asking about your career path, right? Because it's been
Yeah.
first off, again, always love doing research on like on folks and everything. And obviously I've known you for a while, but I know you've done Starship, you've done Spacefish, uh,
hmm
and you've also done amazing work with on AnyList as well too. And so
Yeah.
like I forgot, didn't you build AniList or weren't you one of the folks who like actually built AniList?
Yeah. Well, back in the day, it was primarily led by my friend Josh, but it was the two of us developing it for
Mhm.
a good while until quite recently when we found some new folks to come and kind of take the mantle and take care of it after a
Wow.
decade of working on that project.
Yeah, that was
Uh,
amazing. Yeah, it was a cool,
yeah,
cool project built in what Vue? I forgot. Yeah, the stack. Let me see if I remember it. It
that's
was
it.
Vue for the front
hmm
end.
Yep.
What I forgot, was the CSS like Tailwind? I think it is. Were you using
Yeah,
Tailwind?
yeah, yeah.
Tailwind, and
And
then I forgot the back end. Was it Node?
it was Laravel at the time,
Laravel.
Laravel
That's
and
what it was.
GraphQL.
Laravel. Yep, Laravel. Okay, gotcha. I was like,
hmm
it's something. Yeah. Okay, Laravel. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And what was it? I mean, yeah, I always think about
So
that, right? When it comes to long term, like just working with like projects, right? A 10-year, like just honestly a 10-year stint, right? And that's just something you weren't even doing like you were doing in like on top of like your full time job too. Correct me if
yeah,
I'm wrong. What
yeah.
is it like maintaining? You think about it, maintaining software for a decade. Like, what is that like? A lot of folks, don't really have to do that.
Yeah.
But what was that like?
So the bulk of the back end maintenance work was handled by my friend Josh. He was the lead maintainer of the project
Mhm.
for like he kind of made it his job.
Yeah.
And I would come in and work on the front end and community management we had. So I guess rolling back, AniList, it's a social cataloging site for fans of anime and manga.
Mhm.
It's
I
a
use it.
system for easily tracking. Yeah, you use it.
Yeah, because of you, I use it. I've used
Oh,
it for years
sick!
now, and I love it. I love it. Yes, I still
Hell
use it.
yeah. Yeah. So you can track, discuss, rate what you're watching, what you're reading, and find out what's airing soon. Things like that, airing schedules,
Mhm.
staff members making it, all of that. And over 10 years, it's seen so many revisions and iterations, and kind of been built anew over and over. Um,
Mhm.
yeah. But
Interesting.
that was
So
mainly my friend's baby, and I just wanted to help kind of grease the wheels.
yeah,
A lot of my time was really spent also overseeing a team of moderators that were um,
yeah,
making sure that the data was up to date. We had
yeah, yeah,
40
yeah.
or 50 moderators at the time.
Really clean experience. I really liked it. It was
Yeah,
very like
thank
it was
you.
smooth. It was very smooth. As I said, it had a close to. It was like if obvious. It's weird saying if a mobile app was like supposedly what I felt as though web apps were supposed to be, like the equivalent of like mobile apps are essentially, but like for web. I don't know how to really explain it, but anyway, like it was just long story
Yeah,
short, a very smooth experience, right?
thank you.
From the loading, from I mean, just obviously how quick everything was, and even just everything. So it was really nice. Yeah, so yeah, I get a lot,
Yeah.
man. I still use it actually. I logged in, I think it was just a respectfully, it was about a month ago. I have not been able to watch anime recently. So yes, it's been about a month. But
Same, same.
yeah, so but even outside of that, right?
Mhm.
I'm actually really curious. I'm sort of jumping around a bit. I wanted to talk Starship, my friend.
Yeah.
That is something you've been first off, you've created, what was it, back in 2020? When was it? Maybe
I don't even
2019,
know at
something
this point. Yeah, that sounds about
it's been
right. It's kind of a blur at this
yeah,
point.
yeah, it's been
It's been 5, 6 years.
5, 6 years. I was gonna
Um,
say like 2019, 2020, something along those lines. I wanna say 2020 or something like that. But
yeah.
what was first off, can you tell folks what Starship is?
Yeah.
And after telling them that, like, what was your inspiration behind it?
Sure. So, Starship is a cross-platform, cross-shell prompt, um, written in Rust. It's incredibly customizable, incredibly fast, uh, and it kind of fills your terminal's shell with relevant, in the moment, uh, surfaces relevant details as need be. So, say you're in a PHP project, it'll say what version of the PHP runtime is installed locally. It'll give you details like what your Git status is. It will give you a notification if your battery's low, like kind of anything you need
Mhm,
without you having to run like a command to get input on what the state of your environment is.
mm,
Uh, and there are a million tools that do it. Uh, but at the time, most of these shell prompts were written in the shell's scripting language itself. Um,
mm,
Starship was was one of the first to kind of try to tackle building it in a proper compiled language so that it could be fast, testable, parallelizable, efficient, caching, things that would otherwise be kind of difficult or arduous to do in
mhm,
a scripting language that wasn't really meant for that.
I see.
Um, so the predecessor to that was Spacefish. I was first
I was
maintaining
about to
a
ask that.
shell
Yeah, like was
prompt.
the predecessor to that it was yeah, the predecessor, I guess.
Yeah,
Was Spacefish. Yeah, sorry. Continue,
yeah,
continue. Yep.
that's it. Yeah, yeah. So I'm a fish user myself. Fish is my shell of choice.
Mhm,
Um, and I was maintaining a shell prompt to have feature parity with Spaceship, which is a Z shell prompt
mhm,
that
hmm,
still is doing really well at right now.
yeah,
But I wanted that for fish, and
mhm,
so I would spend a lot of time just kind of um, converting their implementation into a fish capable into one written in the fish scripting language.
interesting.
Um, but we would also be like fixing bugs that existed in the system. And I realized,
Mm,
firstly, the fact that we have to rewrite the same shell prompt uh, in every
mhm.
shell is
Oh,
it
yeah.
feels like an unnecessary work. It feels like
Tedious.
unnecessary work.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of good testing practices around maintaining these kinds of shell scripts,
Mhm,
and uh, there had to be a better way. At the
mhm.
time, Rust was all the rage.
I
People
was
were
gonna
saying
ask
it's the
about that,
most,
like, why
yeah.
Rust?
The the Stack Overflow surveys were kept having like Rust is like the number one most appreciated language for like
Mhm,
7 years in a row or something, and I'm like, what has to be so good about a language that
mhm,
people like would go up to bat and say that it is you know
mhm.
the some of the most confident code they've written, some of
Yep.
the most happy they've been programming.
Mm,
So things just aligned, and I'm like, I need a systems programming language if I want to make this kind of shell prompt that
mhm.
is cross shell,
Yep.
because it needs to be fast, right? If
Yeah.
it's executing a binary every time you hit enter in your shell
Yep.
to render the next line,
I see.
and that binary execution needs to be faster than just an inline script would be
Mhm.
in that shell language, in that shell script.
Yep.
So a systems language is needed for that kind of speed and
Mhm.
performance.
Yep.
And I figured, hey, I'll learn Rust. And it
Learn Rust.
was a pain. It
I was
was
gonna
an
that is
absolutely arduous process. Oh my God.
that's interesting because you're building, I mean, it's really cool. I mean, that's a great way to learn, right? Building
Uh,
like a tool,
hmm.
while, like a tool, or essentially, I guess, like in a sense, like re-architecting and rebuilding a tool because you were using
Mhm.
you obviously built Spacefish, so re-architecting and rebuilding a tool from scratch, but
Uh-huh.
also on top of that, like the paradigm of like having to pick up a new language and and is like, hey, I'm gonna ship this stuff to production. I mean, it's great, right? But at the same time, like you
Yeah.
were fighting multiple battles. Correct me if I'm wrong. And
No,
so
no,
like,
that's spot on.
what was that like? I'm really
Mm.
curious. Yeah, because you said it's a
I
pain, but like, I mean, I'm thinking about this, like, even when it came to re-architecting it, right? Because the paradigms, or I guess like the architecture, the decisions, the designs that, or the decisions that you made, right, with the new architecture from Spacefish to Starship,
Mhm.
that's one thing, right? But then implementing that, like in Rust, it's probably sounds like it was very complex and complicated, especially when you're learning it on top of that. So like, what was that inherently like? Was a lot of like, yeah, if you could just sort of just tell your story about that in particular.
Yeah.
um
Yeah. Well, Rust in particular, you talk about like a paradigm shift, and it really is a paradigm shift when it comes to
mhm,
like if you're going from any language to Rust, you
mhm,
have to just put your preconceptions aside. It
yeah,
will not the Rust compiler will not accept it. The 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 conventions of like ownership in Rust
yeah,
and the way that it manages memory makes so
mhm,
that you have to write code differently. And
mm,
90% of the friction people face learning Rust is just kind of tr- trying helplessly to combat the compiler so that their code will compile. Um, and so Rust, you have to kind of like learn to program from scratch, and
mhm,
it's difficult. But my gosh, once you get past that, it is the most confident you'll feel in shipped
really,
code that you'll ever have.
hmm,
Uh, it will it won't surprise you. You're done with surprises. You obviously need some unit tests to like make
yeah,
sure it functions the way you described it,
yeah,
and the way you described it is right.
mhm,
But um, there's something to say about like that confidence that Rust instills in the code it writes. It will not compile
mhm,
unless all errors are accounted for.
I see.
There's nothing like it. Yeah.
Mm, that's nice.
Um,
That's really nice. And what was
so
it like?
learning Rust,
Because, sorry, continue.
so
Sorry,
learning
continue.
Rust was difficult, but it's it's so easy to learn a new language and to like kind of push yourself when you
Mhm,
have a clear project in mind. There's no better way to
mhm,
learn
mhm,
any language, any tool, any infrastructure, anything, right? You can read
yep,
a book
mhm,
and it goes in out in one ear and out the other.
yeah,
But when you're able to apply it right
mhm,
then, like you read like a paragraph of the Rust book and you're like, yeah, okay, I see how I can use this right now. And you go straight into the editor and you start
yep,
writing, this next feature
mhm,
in Starship. Like that's the flow that you want. That's
yep.
true flow. Yeah.
Mhm. Oh, that's amazing. It's like, was it deliberate learning, and
Uh,
yeah,
that's it.
and so,
That
yep, deliberate learning, and, yeah, it's always, I think they say, like, the whole, like, "Oh, you'll be an expert in, like, 10,000 hours or something," right? But it's like, I think about it, it's like, no, that's like 10,000 hours of deliberate learning, right?
mhm,
Um, you can just like, "Oh,
of
I'm just gonna
making
sit down,"
something.
of
You can't just
making
read a
something.
book for 10,000 hours.
E exactly,
It
yeah,
doesn't
so
stay there.
it doesn't. It's actually funny because, like, when I, like, learn new things, like, "Oh, hey, I need to actually, like, learn new," or even if I'm, like, learning something, my first thought is like, "Okay, cool, like, how can I apply this? Let me try to apply this." So, like, I remember, you'll probably see, like, my some of my repositories, right? And I'll just have, like, it's like a monorepo of, like, a bunch of small projects, like my JavaScript
Oh,
project, Angular project, right? But it's a byproduct saying, "Oh, I wanna learn something about this language or about this web API," or whatever it is, and, oh, after I learn it, I need to be able to apply it. I need to be able to apply
yeah.
it because it's just going to go out, as you said, go out the window. But even on top of that, too, not only just small projects, like, hey, can I actually apply this to something that I'm doing at work or something that I'm building out, right? And like a larger project, something along those lines. And it feels like what I guess, like that sort of that hunger, or that, just like that need to just like, all right, cool, like doing this anyway, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's really cool. And so, thinking about that too, right? What was it like? I mean, I'm really curious because I'm sure you started getting issues and PRs, and like by the time you started getting like issues and PRs from, like, just from the, because it's open source, right, from other folks or whatnot, did you feel comfortable, like sort of looking at other folks' PR or whatnot? Because again, for me, I'm like, hey, I look at Rust. I love Rust. Rust is awesome. I have not used much Rust. I still get relatively intimidated by quite a bit
Yeah,
of it.
yeah.
did you get like how did you feel about folks like look reviewing folks like their PRs and
Yeah.
issues that they had even like with Starship?
So I'd already
Sure.
kind of like had a good flow from Spacefish. There we
Yeah.
got a few hundred PRs and
Hmm.
while it didn't have the explosive growth of Starship, like
Yeah.
I'd already had my maintainer hat on at that point.
Okay.
Um, and from the onset, in fact, I think that one of the one of the greatest uh, things supporting the growth of Starship was that I knew I had something here.
Hmm.
I knew that this really had legs because it was more capable than existing shell prompts at the time.
Hmm.
It was faster than just about all of them. Um,
Hmm.
and so I'm like, okay, if this is gonna grow, I need contributors. Like I need people who are
Hmm.
going to add support for their tools of choice. Like I've never written Ruby, but Starship needs to tell you if your Ruby runtime is using the same like the correct version, or if it's like lock files
Hmm.
out is out of sync or whatever.
Yep.
Um, and the only way to do that is to have Ruby maintainers come in and contribute. Uh,
Hmm.
or yeah, so
Hmm.
the from the onset, I was building Starship. Once I had a proof of concept working, I then
Hmm.
immediately went fully into docs and tests. Like
I
it
see.
should be trivial to know if something works. It should be trivial to contribute a a new module, as we call
Yep.
it in Starship. And it was
Yep.
kind of from a the mindset was contribution first
I see.
as I
I
was
see.
building it.
Mm.
So from
Nice.
then on, like having a really well oiled CI pipeline made it so that
Yeah.
I had a lot of confidence that anything that was coming my way, if the
Hmm.
tests look good,
Yep.
it it probably works exactly as described.
Hmm.
Uh, which made merging PRs like fast
Oh,
and effortless.
like
And now
butter.
we've grown, and now there's a million new parts to the system, and so
I see.
our merge
I'm
rates has changed over
That's
time. But
it's amazing. No, this is awesome. I also see like, oh wow, dude, I'm like looking at installing Starship. I'm like, oh wow, that actually even Android. I'm like, okay, cool. Like Android be it. I'm like, okay, awesome. And I was like, please tell me it's Term, and of course it's Termux. All right,
uh-huh.
that's awesome. That's
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah, I totally got to check this out on my. I'm literally gonna put this on my phone
you're gonna put
when
it on your
I
phone.
when I'll let you know how it is.
That's a
Um,
huge testament to Rust, right? Like I
it is, yeah.
that kind of came in for free. You
Hmm.
write it once, you don't think about the platforms it's going to run on. You can obviously
Hmm.
optimize it for each platform,
Yeah,
but like Android support has taken almost no thought. It just
yeah.
came for free.
Really?
It's
Okay.
incredible. Yeah,
Wow, that's amazing. That is amazing, man. Wow. I'm actually
yeah.
very impressed by that, Um, yeah, and so, sort of even diving further into it, right? Like you were learning and building at the same time, and so you've made architectural decisions that like may have not been so optimal. What
Uh-huh.
was that like? Either a refactoring, like you coming back later, refactoring, or or folks looking at it as like, yo, what's going on here? Like, like,
So
what was that like? Because you're building out an open source project and you're
yeah,
also learning a language at the same time. So obviously, probably what you did back in what was it, 2019, 2020, and then like, looking at it a year later, right? You're like, okay, hold up now. Like what was that refactoring effort like? Did it also cause a lot of breaking changes? Like when you had to do things? Yeah. Anyway, talking. Yeah,
uh,
I'll pass it off to you.
yeah. I think that the truth of the matter is that its architecture is not in a perfect state because it's built a top foundation of like beginner Rust code.
Mhm.
We've got a lot of plans for like a rewrite and obviously the ambitious rewrite is always kind of like a uh, it's more of a pie in the sky kind of thinking. You always think like, oh, this will all be taken care of when you do that rewrite.
Yeah.
Um, but
Hmm.
we've managed to make it work. Like
Hmm.
it's obviously it hasn't locked us in too aggressively that we haven't been able to keep building our Starship, and it hasn't
Yeah.
uh, been enough of a detriment that we've had to prioritize
Hmm.
the rewrite
Yep.
because with the rewrite you're pulling in an entire universe of changes that you want to
Yep.
make,
Yeah.
and either you
Hmm.
ship 5 new features or you
Hmm.
ship the one rewrite that
Hmm.
takes forever.
Hmm.
So no, it's not in a perfect state,
Hmm.
but I have a proof of concept in the works to like. It's going to be obviously re-architecting is a big part of it, but also I have
Yeah,
some major plans for the kind of next evolution of Starship.
I see.
Um,
Ooh, interesting. Is this something
yeah,
you're willing to share now or wanting to wait, you
yeah.
know?
So I'm happy to talk a bit about it.
Mhm,
Basically, when maintaining Starship, there have been two areas of burden that I'd like to focus on with this
mhm,
next major version,
yep,
and that would be one, um, the plugin system as or the module system as it works today.
mhm,
It's all housed within Starship, so support for Haskell and Ruby and like all these languages I don't write.
yeah.
We have to maintain it, and I have to trust that
Mm,
some Haskell user is going to come in and tell us when things go wrong and how
I
to
see,
fix it.
I see.
Because that's a lot of maintenance burden. We have I don't know 50
Mhm.
integrations, and that's too
That's a
much
lot.
for one person.
Scope-wise, that's a large scope
That's
to
a lot
try
of scope. No
that's a
one
lot of
person knows all of it. No one
yeah.
person can know all of it, and that's the
Mhm,
beauty of open source, right?
mhm,
Um, so the plan is to build a plugin system that's WASM based. So
mhm,
by housing these integrations in WebAssembly,
mhm.
um, Starship just provides these generic interfaces for the plugins to be able to
I
extend
see,
Starship,
I see.
and anyone can build one on the fly, which will be
Mhm,
nice because, of course, it's one thing to be able to support languages that we don't use and to have other
mhm,
maintainers maintain that, but
mhm.
it's another to have custom high performance integrations in your prompt
Yep,
just for you and your use case
yep.
for your tool set that you don't want to share,
Mhm.
um, or that you can't share rather.
I see.
Uh, yeah, so the extensibility in that way. And the other one is
Mhm,
in configuration and formatting. Right now,
mm,
Starship has a TOML configuration,
mhm.
which can do a lot,
Yeah,
uh, but there's no way we can make it support everything without like a real scripting language for creating that prompt,
I see. Okay.
um, for outputting the formatting in the way that you want it. Like
Mhm.
if you want to create a power line prompt
Yep.
with like that bar and this I don't know
Yeah.
fancy
Yep.
symbols in it,
Yep.
we have to we have to help you do that. So
Okay.
the plan is to have configuration maybe be in something like Lua so
Mhm,
that a simple prompt is just a couple lines of config. But
mhm,
importantly, you can then do things like loop through portions of your prompt and modules and like have
mhm.
colors change based on their position and have like
Oh, wow.
dynamic truncation of
That's
content in the prompt if it's too
very cool.
long and like
Wow, that's very dynamic and very extensible.
yeah,
I like that. I like
that's
that
the
a lot.
hope.
Wow. I
I'd
see.
like to make it so
Mhm,
a, s- a simple prompt is a drop in couple lines, but
mhm.
you can
Yeah.
theoretically do anything, and Starship becomes more of a framework than a
Yes.
prompt, if you know what
Mm.
I mean.
Yep. That's nice. That's really nice, and a byproduct of that is also gonna be reduced scope for y'all. Y'all won't have to
Reduce scope.
maintain so much, and so you can focus
Yeah,
more on, again, improving the overall extensibility support and, I guess the
exactly.
official plugin system, stuff like that, right? You can focus more on, like, the core of it, right? Not it's already
Exactly.
blazingly fast. If you wanna make it even more blazingly fast, you can, Hey, why not,
Yeah.
Because I
And
mean, but
with
yeah.
these proof of concepts, we're already seeing like double performance improvements. So like,
Oh, wow,
uh,
really?
yeah, there's still room for gains.
Mhm,
It's just we've kind of been spread thin by having to maintain all of the surface area. And so it's
mhm,
like you said, if all we have to maintain is the core and the extensibility,
mhm,
um, we can then really hone in on how to make it incredibly fast and feel
mhm.
good
Yep.
and add features that people have been wanting a long time, like async support,
Mhm.
which some other prompts have, or oh, what's it called? Transient prompts, things like
I
that.
see.
These
I see.
are these are like they're typically easy features to implement if you're supporting one shell,
Mhm,
but to do in a way that supports the 10 shells we offer
mhm.
integration with is
Yep.
near impossible if we're also trying to maintain all these other integrations in Starship.
That's nice. Okay, that's nice. And, sort of taking a step back now, did you ever think that you'd ever be maintaining a shell, open source, shell? I wonder what
uh,
call it, platform, framework? I'm not really sure what to call
it's a shell prompt, but yeah,
a
it's evolving
a
into a
prompt, sorry, like,
framework.
you ever thought to
Uh,
yourself, like, "Man, I'm gonna be, like, maintaining," you know what I mean? Like, did that ever cross your mind?
it's it's just a small thing that I wanted. At the end of the day, like I was scratching a niche I had. I saw
Mhm.
that others had the same itch,
Yep.
and it kind of just fell into my lap that I had like a
Hmm.
really cool way to a really powerful way to integrate
Hmm.
with all these shells across all these platforms.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, it's been a delight getting to see all this excitement.
Well,
Um,
that is amazing, man. That is amazing.
yeah,
And like, how did it blow up? Like, was this like a Hacker News post? Like, what? Like, I mean, because I'm really curious because
yeah,
it's just like shot up. It just became instantly popular. I think gosh, when did we meet? Like 2021, something like that. 2020, 2020, something like that. And like,
yeah, yeah.
I think you were like, "Oh, yeah, I'm just working on." I'm like, "Oh, cool, me, I'm just playing Warzone, with you and all that stuff, right?" I'm doing some contributions to some other open source projects at the time, and I'm like, "All right,
Uh-huh.
bet he's working on a prompt, some cool stuff." Then boom, all of a sudden, I'm checking your GitHub, you're at 10K stars. I'm like, "What in the world? Like, what?" So, what was like? Do you like know when you're like, "Oh wow, like this caught on really quick"? Like, well, everyone's really loving this. Was it like again, was it Hacker News? Was it Twitter? Like, do you like remember that moment? Where you're like, oh, this is
Yeah,
really taking off a lot more than what I expected.
I think that it did. There was no like one pinpoint thing, but it did just. I think from what I saw, I think it must have proliferated at some like big companies. Maybe someone
Mhm.
was sharing it on like on the
Mm.
teams at Microsoft or something. Because I saw
Yeah.
suddenly like 100 stars from Microsoft people all of a sudden, and then 100 stars from people at Google all of a sudden, and then we started seeing blog posts make their way into Hacker News. So it I think it started as like
Mhm.
maybe a little more of an institutional knowledge sharing thing, and
Mm.
then it kind of came out from there and exploded in people sharing like ways to especially in the ricing community, people
Yeah.
focusing on making like their Linux customization look good and feel good, and people are like, you can use
Yeah.
Starship to make a really cool looking prompt for your
Mhm.
cool looking terminal already. Um, and
That's nice.
by the way, it's also fast. And then
Yeah.
that's where it caught on. Yeah,
Yep. Mhm. That's awesome, man. That's really cool. And wow, that is
yeah,
phenomenal. Do
it's
you
been
like
fun.
have any other things? So, usually some like a lot of folks from open source. I was talking with Jordan uh Harband actually, was it last week or something like that, right? And he has a multitude of just like different, just projects, right? He's working on or
Hmm.
whatnot, like, while it's, maintaining some really important stuff in the
Yeah.
JavaScript ecosystem. Is there anything besides like Starship that you're like wanting to maintain or that you're looking to just
Mhm.
sort of, dip your hands into trying to, is there another itch? I guess I should ask. Is there like another itch that you have?
I've got a ton of like of projects that are private repos that'll never see the light of day. Um, I gotta make some of them open source, but like right
Mhm.
now, a lot of my fascination, a lot of my time has been on what I'm working at work, what I'm doing
Okay.
at Vercel, and
Mhm.
I'm thinking of I have some like work in progress open source and not yet open source libraries and stuff that are supporting that
Mhm.
um, around things like um, RAG refinement and uh, a lot of like knowledge search, semantic
Yeah.
search, things like that.
Yep.
Um, I can jump a little bit into that, into what we're doing in that space at
Mhm.
Vercel.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. Yeah, can you elaborate? So, I know
Yeah.
you said that you're a tech lead, correct, at Vercel and
Mhm.
whatnot.
Yeah.
Specifically, what part of Vercel are you working on? Is it developer, DevX? Like what
Yeah.
area? If you can.
These days, I'm tech lead for the support platform team, which we're building kind of everything that you interface with when things aren't going wrong.
Mhm.
Um, my main focus is building an internal agent that does all of the case management before it escalates to a
Oh,
human.
wait, I think I saw a Twitter post, like, it was handling, like, the vast majority of cases now. It was at 87.4%. I'm probably butchering
Yeah,
it a
yeah,
little
that's
bit, but is it 80
it's like 87-ish. Yeah, and the
87%?
number
Yeah.
just keeps going up.
Yeah, okay. Oh,
Um,
that's your team.
yeah, so the idea is that 87% of cases are getting fully deflected. Uh,
Mhm,
it handles 100% of cases, and now it's like
mhm,
only 13%, that small minority, actually
mhm,
reaches a human because case satisfaction, because people are getting answers to their questions. It's not like one
mhm,
of those, you know,
mhm.
bots that gives you. one of three possible answers, and
Yeah.
otherwise tells you to call support. Um, we're trying to make actually really useful agents. And
I
we've
see.
had users say things like, "Oh my gosh, this is better than any support agent I've ever had." Um,
Wow. What
yeah.
has gone into that? I'm really curious to know. So I'm glad, man. I was like retweeting that and everything like that. What has gone into that? Like, fine tuning the LLM. Like, are you allowed to say like, hey, are you using Claude? Like chat, I say chat Jippity. Are you fine tuning chat Jippity? Like, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, are you like using a small language model, an LLM? Like, what does that inherently look like? I'm really curious.
Yeah. So we've got a few. We're using a multitude of techniques. We're kind of
Hmm.
reaching for everything. We're running a million experiments,
Hmm.
just to see what moves the needle. Um, Ultimately, what we manage to do really well is the stuff that people hear time and time again: uh, aggressive context management in our agents,
Hmm.
and really, really well performing RAG. We're if you've used things like Context 7,
Hmm.
which is for surfacing docs, we do
Hmm.
similar things for our internal documentation, our external documentation,
I see.
anything that um,
Mhm.
our support agent would use, like a
I
real
see.
human support agent, we
Mhm.
also give to this agent. So it's able to
Okay.
also, importantly,
Mhm.
read about like your pain points on Vercel. If
Mhm.
the user comes in and says, my deployment is failing, the LLM is able to pull up your most recent deployments, pull up your most recent
Mm.
projects that you've been interfacing with, see
Mhm.
where your usage patterns lie, able to pull up the deployment logs and see like what are possible causes for error,
I
is
see.
able to use a mix of like semantic and lexical search to find
Mhm.
um, the most probable cause for issues, and is able to even like start acting on a solution with human approval. Um,
Mm.
so it's really like we're trying to give it all the same tools we'd give a human, because
Mhm.
oftentimes an agent fails when it's just given like, you
Mhm.
know, here's an encyclopedia, solve all the world's problems.
It's like, "Here's our docs, just that's it. Boom, you're done."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's like, no, it's much more. It's much
Yeah.
more than that. Okay, that's interesting. So, oh, wow, that's really cool. So, the agent itself is essentially mimicking very similar to, like, the tools and things that an actual, like, support agent, human support agent would actually
Mhm.
use, right? At the tools at their disposal, essentially, and wanting to
Exactly.
mimic that environment. And then even the support steps as well. Okay, hey, actually, these are, this is, I guess you have that paradigm, that framework essentially,
Yeah.
um, and then moving onward from there
That's
to then find that solution. And so, that's really
yeah.
interesting, right? Yeah, that's really cool. It's like, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I was gonna like give my take about AI and all this different stuff, right? Not in a negative way, not in a negative way, but also a lot of the misconceptions. Um,
But like
and it's
people have
really cool.
have people have come to get frustrated by AI because it just does a half-assed job. Like
Mhm.
it's exactly that. I think people
Mhm.
are so predisposed to, when you open up support chat and the bot says like, "What can I do for you?"
It's the
Like
worst.
you
I'm
roll
like,
your
"Oh,
eyes.
man." Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm. I
And
remember,
so,
sorry, continue, continue.
oh yeah, we're hoping to fix that. We're hoping to like,
Mhm.
at least in our little sliver of the internet, really make a change and drive progress so that
Mhm.
we get those reactions like, "Oh my god, I've never seen an agent this good." Like it
Mhm.
happens 10 times a day, and it always is like, it warms my heart seeing people see what you can actually do and how much time you can save with these problems.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, does it, I'm really curious to know, what did like, how long did y'all, how long did it take? Like, did y'all do a lot of internal testing before, like,
Mm.
deploying, I'm assuming? Like, what all sort of went into this before y'all hit that live button or whatnot? Or was it just sort of something that was gradual as well? Like, over time? Like,
S-
what did that look like
So
for
we started out actually using like an off-the-shelf SaaS for handling our support to see
Mhm.
how that would perform.
Mhm.
Um, Not going to name names, but we were seeing pretty middling success rates.
Yeah.
For reference, like Fin and Decagon, like those are services that similarly handle support cases, and they
Mhm.
they get like 70. 60-70% is that's their sweet spot. That they say is like, for a well-tuned agent, they'll get
Hmm.
70%. That's what they get
Yeah.
in-house.
Hmm.
Um, and so out the gate, we made a simple LLM, but we already gave it powerful tools to do really,
Mm.
really thorough introspection. And out the gate, we were hitting that same 70%. That's 3 weeks of work. And we were
Wow.
able to completely like, off board with a SaaS who was doing this for us. Like, this is their
Hmm.
bread and butter.
Hmm.
And our
That's
little
amazing.
ragtag team could match that.
Is it a byproduct of just having a, strong internal tooling itself? Because, I think when people sort of think that, oh yeah, I'll just feed it like, my tools itself, but it's like, oh wait, no, like, no, like, I think it's a conjunction with a lot of things. I think about it when it
Mhm.
comes to the agent, right? Reading let's say the documentation, right? You actually have very well structured documentation, right? Something that people can reference, right?
Yeah.
um, that is very readable to not only just humans. And, I mean, for me, it's like, oh, wow, I found my answer really easily, right? But I'm sure that plays a major role. Then you look at as well, too, like, hey, you have these very powerful tools, but when you look at even the development of these tools, right, it's not just saying, oh, I'm going to give it access, like super admin access to, or to, you don't do that, y'all. But, give my agent like access to this, like, this tooling that we have or whatnot. Like, no, I'm sure like it took a lot of deliberateness to fine tune that like developer experience for what y'all probably use, right? And then just sort of making a pathway for that for the agent itself. I'm assuming like that's sort of what it was, like sort of
Yeah.
the case, right? Because I'm sure,
Well,
yeah, or yeah,
yeah.
please elaborate. Yeah.
We were definitely like building atop the shoulders of giants, right? Like
Hmm.
at Vercel, we already had the Vercel MCP, which gave us all the integrations we needed to pull up, like,
Mm, yep.
for the
Hmm.
agent to pull up important user details. We
I see.
had very powerful docs already in place and really powerful search. We
Hmm.
already had um, we we were building on our internal infrastructure for like AI gateway
Yeah.
and AI SDK and
Hmm.
AI elements, like all these things that any person could just use off
Hmm.
the gate. We were basically just a customer of Vercel,
Yeah. Yep.
and I think that not to shill too hard, but
No, no,
like
no, no. That's actually a
it
good. I
was
think that's a great mindset. Actually, that's a great
uh
mindset to have. When it comes to building, right? Build as though you're a customer. Or building. You know what I mean? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just yeah, building as though
yeah,
you're a customer of your like company or your platform. It changes the way you go about. I think just yeah, with anything, right? I think it changes the way your thought process and everything like that. And so yeah. Anyway, please
that's
continue.
exactly it. Yeah, so out the gate, we were given like these superpowers to just ship so quickly, so
Hmm.
easily, and to build really powerful AI out the gate.
Hmm.
That's maybe like these mega sasses that
Hmm.
they have like all this infra and burden and legacy, and we had an evergreen project with just a few thousand lines of code
Hmm.
able to match that, um, because of what's already been built.
Yeah. See.
And now we're
Oh,
doing a lot of experimentation and improvements on top
mhm.
of that.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. I,
yeah.
I really like that a lot because, again, when I think about, a lot of folks have been like this whole AI craze and hype that's been happening. And a lot of folks just think, oh man, let me just, especially, a lot of folks in the business world, executives are like, oh, just slap on AI, it'll replace blah, blah, blah. It's like, actually, no, like there's a lot of deliberateness that goes behind like anything and everything, right? Just as it should be, right? From me as an
Mhm.
engineer, right? From the tools that I use internally here at Harper, or like how even I use Harper, right?
Yeah,
Um, to sort of extend that, and have the AI sort of leverage that as well is like it's really important. I feel as though again it's a mixture of things, right? So I think that at least when I think about enterprises, right, they're like, oh, just put AI over here, have it, just run some docs, learn this stuff. It's like no, actually, you need to also you know build quality, like you have to, the internal tooling itself needs to be of quality. You need to actually, as an
yeah.
engineer, you need to be able to, there needs to be, how do I explain this, I guess, like long story short, yes, quality,
Mhm.
and everything, like in order
Y-
for your tools to properly interface with one another. And so
yeah,
um yeah, there's that whole aspect. And no, this is, it's really cool to hear that, man. It's really cool to hear that. And I had no idea you were the person who
yeah.
or your team was the team that like, as I said, the whole like support tickets and all that stuff. That's awesome. Cause I was like, man, literally, I told myself, as I saw that when it was posted by, what was it? What's his
By
name?
G, yeah, Guillermo.
Yeah. Yeah. When when it posted about him, I'm like, man, I hope I get to talk to someone. I never thought it'd be you. Wow, who would have thought? Huh, not me.
Yeah, small world. Yeah,
You got them. You got them. Tell me you got them. Anyway,
yeah.
but yeah,
So
that's awesome, man.
it's been really fun. We're like and now we're like the goal is ultimately to make our support engineers really spend time on the meaty things, like not just
Hmm.
be an index of what's on documentation. Like
I
when
see.
until now we get a lot of questions of people asking, how do I transfer my domain to Vercel? And it's like, dude, if you
Mhm.
Googled it, you get you get pointed to the page that says just that immediately.
Actually, it
Why are
does. Yeah,
you
that is very true. Yes,
why do
yes.
you got to talk to a person for that? So like
Hmm.
we're saving a lot of their time by making it so that they can really work on the meaty, deeply
Hmm.
investigative cases that require a lot of human thought, collaboration,
Hmm.
maybe improvements to our platform, improvements
Hmm.
to the way that we um, uh, handle like that Vercel works all together.
Yep.
And they're
Mhm.
able to then feed knowledge back into the agent so that it's a
Mhm.
force multiplier instead of having every customer support agent, customer support engineer have the same canned answer to the same question. They teach it to the agent and they
Mhm.
build up our internal infrastructure so that hopefully every question we get is a new, novel, interesting problem instead of, copy paste,
Yeah.
run your macros. Like,
Yep.
yeah.
Love it. I love it. Guillermo or anyone, if you end up watching this podcast, or even, I mean, even you, Matan, I mean, you're already in the podcast. I'd love to see if Vercel could actually release an analysis in regards to like the cost, actually, the savings essentially that actually came with like y'all doing this actually,
Mhm.
for your, for a lot of the platform folks or the engineer, a lot of the support
Yeah.
engineer folks. I'd love to see like an actual cost analysis or something if y'all can even discuss that publicly, like, some people are like, oh, I
Yeah.
saved like $10 million over the course of a year, right? And that allowed folks to, in terms of like time spent, time that would have been spent, having
What I
this work.
can say, we're saving thousands and thousands of hours a month
Hmm.
because of this. Like it is thousands of customer support engineer hours
Hmm.
um, out the gate, and we've
Hmm.
only been using this for a few months. Like
I see.
this started rolling out slowly in November,
Oh, wow.
um,
Okay.
and it's only getting better.
That's
We
awesome, man.
found another dial to turn to squeeze out another like 5% uh,
Man.
case resolution rate. So
Hmm.
we're now approaching the 90s in terms of
Oh, that's amazing.
90%. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, I bet your support engineers are like, yes.
Yes.
No
Well,
more how
that's
to
it.
transfer the domain, like no, no more copy pasta from the documentation, just to be like, this is how you do it.
That's it. That's it.
But
And
that's
like
awesome, man. That's awesome.
the goal is to make it so that like you
Hmm.
you yeah you can speak to a human if you really need it. Like
Yeah.
we want it so that there's no backlog.
Yeah.
Until now, maybe there's a backlog. Like
Hmm.
if it's a low priority issue, you're not going to hear from a person for a while. Uh,
Hmm.
but the goal is like we'll have people available when you need it right
Hmm.
away because they're not wasting their time with pulling
Yeah.
up docs.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man. Well, yeah, I know I've like, oh man, I've like really enjoyed this podcast because like, I mean, I just
Yeah.
saw the time. I'm like, oh wow, like man, we've really been. I mean, I can keep going, but I'm gonna just say, like, I guess I'll just end it here and just say, Matan, like, it has been an absolute joy to be able to like just speak to you as a friend, and but also like just have you on this podcast. It's great.
Yeah.
Again, Starship, amazing. The work that you've done just over the years, and just the things that you've done. As you know, I've always kept up to date with it from AniList to, um, to again, as you said, Starship, right? To all the other amazing work that you've been doing across like just all these different companies. And so,
Mhm.
yeah, it's just great to be able to have you on this podcast, talk about it. And I just genuinely can't wait to see what else you have in store for us in 2026. So,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yes,
Thank you so
absolutely.
much, Austin. Yeah, it's a pleasure anytime.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. And what time is it your time right now? What time is it right now in
It's
Tokyo?
bright and early. It's almost noon.
Okay,
I've got a
sweet.
I've got a
It's
whole
almost.
working day ahead of me.
Hey, there we go. See, it's almost 12 o'clock. It's almost mid. Or no, sorry, no, it's almost 10 o'clock. Sorry, 10 p.m.
Mhm.
It's almost 10 p.m. where I'm at. So yes. Well, thank you. You have an amazing rest of your day or work day. Yeah, have an amazing day.
Yeah.
All right, man. And
Thank you.
yeah, we'll talk soon and we'll play some
We'll be in
games.
touch. I
All
like
right.
that. Yeah, I'm game.
Awesome. Bye.
Amazing. Catch you later.
Catch you later.